Hello guys, it is me. I'm the one here, and today we are doing a Dragon Ball Super episode 127 review. Now, before we get into this video, like and subscribe, and yeah, make sure that notification bell is enabled. Now, let's get to it. So, as you guys may know, in this episode, we see Goku and Jiren is powering up, excuse me. And you see all three of them are so shocked. As you also can see that this is Jiren's full power. He's going to full power, as you can see. And also we can also see that Vegeta says, with all your friends gone, you finally got serious. So what Vegeta is trying to say is that basically once everything is gone, Jiren is now the last person, and it's kind of like a threat if you kind of think of like that way, but also it's really not. But let's get to it. Now you see Vegeta coming out of the hold that he has created after his battle with Toppo. Now you see Vegeta and Goku going at it with Jiren. At one point of this episode, which didn't make any sense, was at this moment right here. You see Jiren trying to like attack. Now look what happens to Goku. Goku gets flown off. He gets really on the ground, and not like he's a little bit damaged, a little bit hurt. You see Goku just in distress, and you see and you see Vegeta also in distress. You see he also used force, and you could tell here Piccolo says that Jiren is unbelievable. And you see Toppo right there, making that face as usual. Just know what's up. And so this is one flaw right here in this episode that is like super really bad. So you see Android 17, and he puts a key blast behind his back. Now watch what happens. It's so major that right here, that Jiren's back is just scratched, and you can see that he says Jiren's wounded. So what this means is that Jiren's not all that invincible, which was the craziest thing, because you would imagine someone at this level will be the strongest person out of the entire history of Dragon Ball. I mean, arguably that's what it will be, but how could a character like this just be downplayed like that? Because as you can tell, like if you've been watching the previous episodes, you could tell that Jiren's weakness is none. Like he has no weakness. Like this is one major flaw. Anybody could say that, like, oh, Jiren was just, off guard. He didn't know. Well, if you remember, whenever Jiren gets attacked, he would always attack. He would never let his guard down. But now that you see this, it's kind of like, why would they do that to him? That's kind of my question. And you see And you see Android 17 now. Goku's asking, "Hey, number 17, are you okay?" And he just making sure. And now they also say, "Thanks to your attack, I know how to deal with Jiren." Now, what this also means is that, like, now it's getting to the point where like they know how to deal with Jiren, which is absolutely wrong because Jiren, isn't what you think he is. And so, yeah. Now, what they also do in this episode is this. So, like, later in the episode, they do a combo attack right here in this episode. So what they do is you see Vegeta, then Goku, then Android 17, the clashing, and look, you see that? That's his wall. So basically that's his barrier that's protecting Jiren. And look how strong Jiren's barrier is. It's so strong, which we will see in just a second, that Goku, Vegeta, and Android 17 are putting all their power, but look. He blasted all their attacks away and blew them all off. Look how strong this is. This shows that Jiren's power is way beyond any other characters in Dragon Ball Super. That is what I think, though. So what also happens is, after Jiren gets it, there's Frieza. Frieza comes in, and he just hits Jiren in the back. And this is also another flaw where, like, Jiren is never having his guard down, but Frieza just comes in and kicks him in his back. And that's one other flaw in this episode. I would say another flaw would be that Android 17 hits right here. Android 17 hits Jiren again on the back. This time he got away with it, which makes no sense because Jiren is again being caught off guard, which I don't agree with. And so you see Goku right here, just saying Android 17, see right there. And then what happens is now, later in this episode, Android 17 is talking about taking a cruiser right here. And he's saying, I want to take my family on a cruiser. And so basically, Belmont, the God of Destruction of Universe 11, is saying that, are you joking, number 17? Are you really joking? Why would you wish like that? That's what basically Belmont is saying. And so, Android 17 says, I am serious. And then after that, Android number 17 or Android 17 says that nothing aside from the title of the strongest interests you. So what this basically means is that this is basically saying Jiren just wants to be the strongest, but also this could also mean to Android 17's demise, I should say. Excuse me. In the end. And so you also see that Jiren is talking about a wish. Now, everybody's been speculating that Jiren's wish is that he wants to save someone, which is what we later come to know is that Jiren had a dark past. Now, Belmaz starts to tell the story about how Jiren was obsessed with strength, and how he became the person he is today. Now, as the guys can see, this is Jiren. This is 100% Jiren when he was smaller, as a kid, just going back to his village, as you guys can see. Now, at this point, when Jiren saw this village, his own village that he grew up, getting destroyed by this evildoer right here. Right here. And any second now. It says Jiren's friends were killed by an evildoer right here. At that, you saw it. So basically, that was the guy who killed his parents, and he as a kid, any kid would feel like that. Any kid would feel that, like, whenever their loved ones or someone that they really loved gets killed, they want to get rebellion. They want to get revenge, basically. And so this can without a doubt say that this also teaches a lesson that the way kids experience something in their lives can change them drastically in their future. This is basically like a lesson taught by Dragon Ball Super themselves. Like, I don't know if they did this intentionally to give it like a backstory of how Jiren did it, but this backstory I kind of like, but I kind of like, why did they rush it? Why did they reveal it until the end? Like, they could have revealed it earlier on in Dragon Ball Super when the Tournament of Power was still going on. Now, we also learn that Jiren with his master, they both trained, and he trained to become stronger so he can fight against evil. That's how, like, basically Jiren, as a pride trooper, he has his own pride, and his strength is his pride. And basically Jiren became strong due to his awful memories of his childhood. And this also shows that good things could come from bad things. And this is kind of like a moral of the story, or the lesson of this episode. And so you also see that they also mention after Jiren was still taught, like, he learned how to fight and he learned how to do stuff, his teacher and all his comrades were kind of like killed. And so after that his comrades, or the people that was fighting with him, they abandoned him. They abandoned his trust and everything. So they abandoned him completely, and they weren't really his friends. And so then we get back to the Tournament of Power. And so here it says winning will bring companions. Winning would get him everything. Which means that Jiren thinks that by winning every time, winning a fight every time, to become the strongest, to become stronger, and you gotta win. Winning is so absolute that winning could get him everything. Like, that I would not agree with, because sometimes winning can just make a person stay the same forever. It's not like, some bad things might happen if you, like, keep on thinking like that, because you won't change as a person, nor will you ever grow. But in this case, this is what Jiren thinks. Now we still go to, now right here, Android 17 says that he's like a human. Like, that's what a human thinks. And this kind of relates to us as people, because we also think the same thing. We also think that by winning, we can get everything we want. This also is kind of like a life lesson, as I said earlier in this video. But this also teaches us the fact that we as humans, we learn over time. We look at these things to understand us as a whole, like who we are and what we're trying to become. Now, also, now getting back to this, we will. He also does. What happens is that Belmont gets angry and tells him, "Silence. What do you know of Jiren?" So basically, Android 17 hits the nail on the head, and basically he gets into Jiren's nerves. After that, Android 17 and Jiren fight. And right here, as you can see, Android 17's clothes is getting ripped, which makes no sense. And second of all, Jiren's hand is being clashed with Android 17, while Android 17 is on par with Jiren, which I absolutely disagree with, because one, Android 17 is nowhere close to Jiren, and two, Jiren's strength is absolute. And so Android 17 says that you can bury the past. So basically, what he's basically saying is that Jiren focuses too much on the past rather than the future. Now, it's better that for someone to know his past is good, but to move on is even better. So basically, Android 17 is basically saying, are you really going to be accepting the past, or are you going to move on and accept the future? Now, this is really interesting because after the Tournament of Power, after we know that Goku is going to defeat Jiren, we know that. Is Jiren going to grow as a person? Is he going to realize what he's done all this time, what he learned from now is kind of like not really that kind of thinking, but it's just so crazy. And now he has to realize that, oh, I have to grow as a person, I have to learn from this. Will he do that? Well, I may not know, but also, let's just get right into this again. So after this, we see Jiren, and we see Android 17, and this is where Jiren says strength is absolute. So he still has a mindset thinking that strength is absolute, and that strength forgives all. And so you see this video also, and you see this. This is one of the most important scenes of this entire episode. So basically, Goku, I think Vegeta is saying, "You, what are you doing?" He means Android 17. And so, Android 17 is actually risking his life. Basically, he's putting his life on the line. And you see, right here, Android 18 is saying, "You're not strong enough. Run, number 17." And so, this scene, right here, is the important scene because this shows the climax of this episode, basically. And so, this episode, Android 17 risks his life. As you guys can see, Android 17 is putting up a barrier on Goku, Vegeta, and himself to protect them from not getting knocked out. This is a good thing on his part. But, to be honest, like, they should have put more moments of him, because he was been a character ever since around the time of Dragon Ball, and we all know we loved Android 17, even though he was a big douchebag in the beginning. But still, his character, it grown So he grown as a character, thinking how to be a human, and thinking although he's different, although he's an android, like a robot, he's still learning as a person. While Jiren, on the other hand, thinks differently, and Jiren is just so cold. He's a mystery, and that's why we get it, because mysterious people are often people that never tell anyone anything, and so they never learn as a person what happens and what doesn't. And so this ties in, and so after this we fast forward, and it says, "You better thank me." And so basically this is like the final moment we see Android 17 before he gets erased. And so he's putting up the barrier, and then after this you see right here, and then there you see this is the moment where everything blasts off like this, and everything just whoosh kapoosh, and then bam. And you see this, there is no Android 17 right here. And you could also see from this that number 17 sacrificed himself as well. And so he self-destructed. What the Grand Priest assumes is that number 17 self-destructed. Now, does this mean the end of Android 17? No, it doesn't. It actually means that number 17 is actually going to come back, because they're not going to destroy him. Because why would they destroy a character that's like really like deep within the audience? Like, they can't destroy a character that's been so famous ever since Dragon Ball. And so after this, the number 17 is gone, and so Vegeta is going to, next episode, going to finally fight with Jiren. But however, we all know what's gonna happen next episode, and that's Vegeta is going to keep his pride till the end, and we'll see what happens. And so there's only 3 minutes left to remain in the tournament power. What can happen in the 3 minutes? 3 minutes in the tournament power? 3 things. Either time run out, Universe 7 wins. Number 2, either Goku wins, knocks off Jiren, and be survived, survived in the tournament power. Or C, Goku wins, Frieza knocks off Goku after he's done with Jiren, and possibly win? But that would mean a big cliffhanger, wouldn't that be? But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, I'll be talking to you in the next Dragon Ball Super episode video or review. And yeah, punch that like button, subscribe, comment, and click on the notification bell. See ya!